a guy listed at 7 feet tall.
And a guy that's going to shoot an awful lot of free throws, too.
He shot 18 in game 1, made 14 of them on Friday night against Eastern Washington. First points of the night, though, for Zachary because of the foul trouble in the first half. Here's Modem. You're impressed with his skill level in the first half. Nice move there, but he couldn't finish.
Yeah, that's okay. I'd keep going through there. I mean, he is a highly skilled player.
Here's Carter down the lane. Got free, couldn't put it in. Harris tips it. The first one didn't go in, but the second putback is good.
Both guys are aggressive, attacking the offensive glass. You cannot give up on either guy, Harris or Zachary.
Consecutive buckets by Gonzaga push the lead back to 10. Here's Modem putting it on the floor. Blocked by Zachary, who's third all time in Gonzaga in career blocks. Harris quickly down floor, got position. Can't put it in, but he's fouled. Second team foul on Washington State here in the half.
Well, Elias Harris was quiet in that first half. Little dribble drive here, soft off the window, allows it to kick around both white jerseys inside. And then Zachary, he's going to go twice on the pipes. The move by Modem, not good enough.
Zachary led the WCC in blocks last year with 66. We talked about his stroke at the free throw line. He shot 82% last year after shooting 63% 2 years ago, so he's really improved. Meanwhile, Harris missing the second free throw, and Enquist, who picked up the personal foul there, gets the rebound. 5 straight points for Gonzaga, lead back to 11. 3 minutes gone by here, second half. Aiden just inside the foul line, able to put it in.
He can mix the way he scores. That's a good solid drive.
He's got 12 points. Zachary on the low block as Gonzaga's starting to get it in the paint now and find success.
You can't, now you're not sagging in from your perimeter because you know you've got to contest the three, and that's going to be a turnover.
Yep. Palming called on Moore.
Whoa, Moore just pushed Kevin Pangos, just literally pushed him 2 hands. I don't know if the officials didn't see it or what. But
obviously they didn't see it, otherwise they would have called the foul there. Official may have had his back turned to it. Carter and the pass inside. Enquist called for the foul. 2 quick ones on him. Third on the Cougar. Now he pushed him. Now Pangos knocked the ball out of his hand there. Official must have had his back turned.
Everyone had their back turned. I wonder, you know, did Pango say something after the turnover by Moore?
Carter with a kick out to Pangos. His 7th free. The Gonzaga record for a single game is 9 by Dan Dickow, and Pangos is 2 away with 16 minutes to go. Turnover by Washington State. Here's Carter. He'll take it in.
Well, it's the start of the marathon. Welcome to college basketball, Kevin Pangos. Your dad's a coach, your mom's a former player. Did he get a shooting touch from her? Well, it's early, but let's take a look at some of the players who are early favorites for National Player of the Year. Harrison Barnes may get a little competition from Tyler Zeller, who had a big night the other night. Jared Sullinger, Big Ten, had nobody who could check him one-on-one. And then Perry Jones, who's suspended for the first 6, a very talented forward. But Quincy Miller, the freshman, 17-point games in their first 2. Let's see if Baylor cannot fade down the stretch and get into the NCAA tournament. Lots of storylines, Dave.
Including this Gonzaga team.
Yes.
Ranked 23rd in the country. You knew about Zachary and Harris. You didn't know about the young guys. But Kevin Pangos with 21 points, just his 2nd college game. mowed him with a good pass that time, and the bucket for Reggie Moore. That ends a 12-2 Gonzaga run.
Oh, you got to give him the ball. Wow. Zachary just had great position, and they went away. Just worked so hard.
Pango's fouled by Capers on the way up, so it's a two-shot foul. Third personal on Capers. Free throws for the Zags, and we come back. Gonzaga with a 14-point lead early in the second half. Doris, take us inside the play.
Well, Robert Zachary has not had the kind of night that we expected, but I'll say this. There's a reason Washington State put so much emphasis on him in the scout. Look at the space this guy carves. 7 foot, 260 pounds, understands how to duck in. He's just carving space. He's the reason that Kevin Pangos will go to the free throw line right now.
Zachary, a senior from British Columbia, first team all West Coast Conference last year. Barely played in the first half because of early foul trouble. But the young guys, Gary Bell and Kevin Pangos, 2 freshmen, outstanding from the perimeter in the first half. Now in the second half, Gonzaga starting to get some buckets on the inside. They've controlled the glass throughout. Matt, I think that's the intriguing thing about this basketball team. They were plus 21 in rebounds on Friday. And they're leading Washington State on the glass here tonight as well.
And the other point you made in the first half, the depth. I mean, they've got a lot of nice pieces. Their chemistry is tremendous. They're crisper to start the year than you might expect. They've got the glue guy, the underrated role guy in Mike Hart, and a tremendous coach in Mark Few. He's set up a tremendously challenging schedule to prepare them. This team's got an incredible upside, I think.
Pangos now with 23, and there's another guy who's not playing tonight that we're going to see at some point. Guilandry Eddy is a junior college transfer, suspended the first 8 games by the NCAA for signing a pro contract in France. Gonzaga has appealed that suspension, but Mark Few telling us today he'll be in the rotation. Held ball, it will go to Gonzaga. The other thing that Mark Few said today that was interesting as you look at Eddy on the Gonzaga bench, again not eligible yet, is he said he's trying to figure out what guys he wanted to redshirt. There are a couple guys he thinks could play and help the team out, but he thinks, well, they might only get 10 minutes this year, where if they redshirt next year as redshirt freshmen, they'll get 20 minutes per game.
Well, and that's a look at a couple of them. And here's the thing, if you're going to play 8 minutes and over the course of a 32 or 35 game season, only average 8 minutes, I'd rather redshirt as a player because I want to play.
Hart's 3 won't go. And the loose ball ends up in the hands of Carter. Then it was knocked away by Moore, and Washington State has the ball. Moore with a lot of control, and it's an offensive foul. 15 foul on Washington State, none on Gonzaga yet. Tuesday, the college hoops tip-off marathon concludes with the inaugural State Farm Champions Classic doubleheader from Madison Square Garden. Mike Krzyzewski looks to pass his mentor Bob Knight for most wins, taking on Michigan State, then Kentucky, Kansas after that.
Well, Anthony Davis, folks, is a freshman, one of the great freshmen in the country. Another great class for John Calipari. Oh.
The stuff by Elias Harris, and Gonzaga has its largest lead.
Well, and part of that problem, 4 of Washington State's last 5 possessions have been turnovers. So you're letting them blow you out of the gym because you're self-destructive.
16-4 run the last 4.5 minutes for the home team. Moore. Shelton able to corral. Can't put it in though. And Pangos able to save it. Pangos on the drive. Hits Harris. He couldn't finish that trip, but no foul called. Now there's Hart again with great hustle, stripping Aiden from behind. Talked about the schedule for Gonzaga. They have a stretch where they play Notre Dame, Illinois, and Michigan State in consecutive games. They also play Butler here and play Arizona in Seattle. Not to mention, you play St. Mary's. BYU now is in the WCC. So it's a challenging schedule for Gonzaga this year as usual.
I think it's a recruiting tool for him, though. I mean, he's built the program to where you play those tough non-conference games because that's the expectation.
Here's what they got coming up. We talked about those consecutive games. They're all on ESPN2. Here he is again. Kevin Pangos with his 8th three. .26 points for the freshman. I guess Mark Few made a good decision today when he told us he was going to start Pangos after bringing him off the bench in his first game.
Well, the youngest player ever to suit up for the Canadian national team. I guess talent is pretty easily recognizable. The man can flat shoot the basketball.
Here's Devontae Lacey. Thought he might be more of a factor tonight. Well, he hasn't played a whole lot and has not scored. He had 21 points in his first game, but that was an exhibition contest. Zachary got free, and then a block by Capers. It's a held ball and will go to Washington State.
Wow, how about the athleticism of Capers? This is power, folks, and he flat denies 7 feet, 260 pounds. Go ahead, Mr. Capers. Wow.
He's trying to energize his team verbally afterwards. We'll see. 12 and a half to go, but down 21. And we thought at some point Gonzaga would go cold from three-point land. It just hasn't happened. And Gonzaga foul here. That is the second team foul on the Zags. Kevin Pangos has been the story. 26 points, 8 of 11 threes. He's one shy of tying Dan Dicko's record for a single game, as Ladd will go to the free throw line.
Just remember, he didn't start against Eastern Washington. Mr. Stockton started, and so this is his first start. And as impressive as his shooting display has been, I'm equally impressed with the command of the offense, the pace at which he plays, his decision-making, his handle, and he plays like the son of a coach.
You know, it's interesting, Victor, is just watching some of the huddles out of timeouts. The players respond to him, too. The veterans, as he's talking, they recognize that Pangos knows what he's doing, and they're responding to that leadership. I don't always see that with a freshman point guard. Here's Bell, hit some threes in the first half, and then a foul called here on Dower. That's third personal on him. Third team foul on the Bulldogs. Check that fourth personal on Dower.
Here's some interesting things. I mean, now you're playing Zachary with Sam Dower. You could put Elias Harris in the lineup, the three of them across that front line, and play big. You've obviously got a smaller lineup on the floor right now with Hart, Dell, and Pangos, but you've got a lot of different lineups depending on the matchup if you're Mark Few.
Good move inside there by Mike Ladd. 18-point lead. Bell able to put it in, and a foul. Ladd tried to draw the charge. It's his first personal 17 foul in Washington State.
Well, Bell can make perimeter shots. We've seen that. His frame is college basketball ready. And twice tonight, he's had to adjust his body in midair, been able to take contact. Nice looking young guy.
Gonzaga has 36 points scored by freshmen. Washington State with 42 points as a team. Game one of our tip-off Marathon Dave Pasch, Doris Burke. I know you'll be up at 3 o'clock our time for the Drexel Rider game, and you'll watch that in full before your flight. What else are you looking forward to? Well,
so many games, but we'll begin with URI at Texas. Jacobin Brown from Texas gets 28, and you've got a URI team that is hyper-athletic. Jamal Wilson got 38 for URI, and of course our colleagues Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy will be on hand for that one. Michigan State Duke. I'll tell you this, Coach K going for 903. Tom Izzo's team is always a tough out, and then a top 10 matchup, Ohio State, Florida. Just so many great games in the midst of this marathon.
Does Van Gundy wear the glasses for college games, or is it for NBA only?
I'm pretty sure
to find out.
At his age he's got to wear the glasses regardless.
Good move there by Mike Ladd. Gonzaga now in the bonus, as you see at the bottom of your screen, with the Cougars committing 17 fouls.